So, good morning, good morning. We are ready for day 2. Let me get my camera ready. And I'm so excited because we are going to be working on the, the real deal of e-commerce store. So, why do we set up an e-commerce store right now? Because before we know anything else, because if we don't do as we are learning, then I'm just taking things out of the way so my camera is good. If we don't do things as we're learning, then it's not going to get done. So what I believe is just doing and practicing. You don't have to use Shopify, but this obviously I know Shopify to the nth degree. So I have a link. Let me see here. I have a link. I will have a link. Okay, so don't do this because your internet might get a bit messed up. So don't do this while you got the video on. Write down notes. If you have a good internet, you can do it. But do it afterwards and then come back and watch the video again. So as you're doing things, write them down and then come back and do it again, okay? So because I know sometimes it doesn't work well with having a video on and then doing something online, although if you see my computer, check things out. Okay, so here we see. So now we're on Shopify. We're going to start an e-commerce store. And this is probably the same for a lot of e-commerce stores that you will start, okay? Shopify is the best. That's all I can say because it's a robust platform. It's got amazing tools and you really get the value for money, okay? I've just found out a lot about BigCommerce yesterday. Not a good idea. Okay. So let's start. So I'll give you a link, and so what you do is you pop the link at the top in your browser, and you click, and it goes. Okay, this is what's going to open. Okay, you put your email in, and I'm going to just run through this whole because you'll see why in a minute. Okay, run through this with you, Muti. Okay, put a password in. I like to put the same password in if I can remember it. Okay, and then your store name. So when we spoke about your domain name, your store name yesterday, this is where you're going to enter it. But it doesn't mean that if you change your domain name, it changes your store. It changes your e-commerce platform. No. It'll stay the same. This is just the beginning, so you can change it anytime you want to. Okay, so I am good. I'm going to start. Let's do, since we're talking about chat marketing. Yeah, that's your store name. So if your store name was your store name must be at least 4 characters. The best in the West, that's great as well, okay? But what happens is this name is going to be truncated. So what will happen is truncated, but also hyphens be put in the middle. So what happens is Shopify is going to do this, and then you have to remember what the in-between is, what the name is when you want to come into your store, when you want to do administration. So what I do is I just put in a complete name, which I will show you why in a minute, okay? So chat marketing, okay. Ting, 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 chat marketing. All right. And oh, by the way, Shopify's gone back to 14-day trial, so you have to be in my soapbox. I will help you set it up, by the way, without you having to do this. So let me know when you're ready, okay? Otherwise, you only get 14 days, unfortunately. All right. So what are you selling? So are you already selling? No, I'm not selling a product yet, obviously, because this is a e-commerce 101. Do you have something to sell? No, I'm just playing around. Okay, whatever question you have. This is just something that they will, I'm not getting started yet, okay? Which industry? What are you thinking about? And again, you can change this in your store, okay? Oh, virtual, I'll say that. Or you can say, I haven't decided yet. Fine. Are you setting up a store for a client? No. Next. So your first name, your last name, your address, your phone number, enter a website, optional. If you don't have a website, it doesn't mean, it's just somebody that has a website, which, as we said before, why this store is a registered business. So if you haven't registered your business, that's also okay. You can come back and do that, okay? So enter your store. And we will talk about registering your business, because that's also important, because you have to be legal in the country that you are doing business. So I've done business in Holland, so it's Europe, and I've done business in Africa, which was South Africa and Namibia, and I've done business in the USA. Basically, in the USA and South Africa, it's very, very easy, okay? In Europe, there's a lot more to registering your business, so please go to probably a business consultant that can help you, or if your friends have done it, they will know as well. So there is more to registering just a domain name and starting a business online, because you have to pay taxes, okay? So it's all got to do with taxes. So whatever you're selling, just remember, you have to be registered. Okay, that's how easy it is. This is how easy it is to set up your store. Okay, your trial has started, and actually, you know what you need to do? When it says, go back, when it says setting it up for a client, I'll have a look at that afterwards, and I'll post something in the group. Okay, so now you have a nice blank slate of setting up your business, and it's got lots of cool information here of what to do. Okay, very confusing. As you can see, lots of information, very confusing. But so what we're going to do, this is very interesting. This is brand new, brilliant. Is set up your business. Okay, so again, so let me go back into what I'm talking about so you can see my face. Okay, so I hope you've done some research for your name. We've put the name into Shopify. We don't have to use that name. If you decide to change your mind about the name, that's also okay. If you want to register a complete new store when you're finished, that's also okay. This is just something for you to practice on, and hopefully you can launch it in the 30 days, okay? But all the information you can easily transfer to wherever you want to. So we've gone and registered the store, okay? And now what we're going to do is, and that was pretty easy because it used to take quite a while to actually set up the store. We are going to go to chapter 2, domains and emails. I want to show you about the domains and emails, okay? So let me so here. Check marketing. All right. So we're in the settings. So the first thing we need to do is you need to find out, start the basics of your business, right? Where do you have to register your business? And I'll give you a list after this. I'll give you a list of things you need to think about, okay? So again, it's not just setting up your domain name and your store. You've got to think about the foundation of your business, because if you're going to start making money, and charging people, if taking credit cards and charging people, you need to be able to know your tax, how much tax you're going to pay, where you're going to pay it. Do you have to register an actual company? I know international is totally different to America. Here I can have a local doing business as, which is it's just state by the state and not federally. But in the end, if I'm going to start making money, I want to protect my business, right? So setting up your business properly so that you have a PTY Limited, or they call it an LLC here, or an S corporation, and I have no idea, I've forgotten what they call it in Europe, but anyway, so what you want to do is find out how to register your business. I mean, you're not going to pay taxes straight away. It's going to cost money to set it up, right? So set it up as cheaply as you can, and then so that you know when you have to start paying your taxes to the federal government, then you know that you're doing it the right way. I would talk to an accountant as well to make sure that you know where your money is going, what is doing, how much taxes you need to pay, what your liabilities are going to be, or a business consultant stroke lawyer. You don't have to actually go to a lawyer. I know a friend of mine in Holland I used to set up my businesses through him. But in the end, there are liabilities not liabilities, but things that you need to do to actually register your company. So it's very important to actually be legal, because you're taking money from your customers, and the government wants some of it, okay? Because people are paying taxes on your store. And the same thing in the United States. So things are changing a lot here. We used to only sell to people, and they pay taxes where I am. So where I have my business, what they call a nexus, that's where people pay taxes. Now things have changed, and most of the states, and I don't know how many, 50 now right now, want their sales tax. So you have to, that's a VAT, right? So you have to make sure where you have to pay, where you don't have to pay. If you're selling in the United States, doesn't matter whether you're based in Africa, whether you're based in Australia, New Zealand, or Europe, you will have to pay taxes, okay, in the United States if people are paying taxes here. So just remember that, and it's all got to do with the amount that you're selling, the amount of transactions you're doing. Transactions means if people, the amount of people that are buying, so if they buy, one transaction doesn't matter if it's 5 products or 1 product, that's one transaction. So you need to make sure to find out what you need to do in your state or in your country, okay? Because Shopify is amazing. You can do business anywhere in the world, okay? So your legal name of your business is very important, because this will actually be part of will be on your shipping information, it'll be on your invoices that people see, it'll be on your emails that people see, and you want to also look very professional, right? So, and then obviously here's the time zone, Central Time, and you can be anywhere, Alaska, Hawaii, and also imperial and metric system, okay? This I normally leave by itself, and this you can change to whatever currency you are going to sell in. And this, so if I am going to put another country in here, then the whole thing changes as well. So let's have a look. So as I said, I have a long list of requirements, of ideas, of what things you need to think about to set up your business, because this is literally setting up your business. You need to know what you want to do and how you're going to do it. And as I said, the list will be there, will be in the group. And it's a spreadsheet that I've collected over years, and I'm going to make it available to you. So, things like, you've got to think about things like business cards, because you want to give people a business card when you meet them, right? When you go out to dinner, you want to say, hey, they say what you're doing, boom, give them a business card. You want to maybe have decals done, or you want to, why would you, something else in business, right? You want to make sure that you have an accountant that does your finances. And accountants aren't expensive. Really, they're not expensive, but they're worth the weight in gold because they know what they're doing. Unless you have financial accounting experience, I would suggest just talking to people and finding an accountant and doing it the right way. I know it's a lot of money that you're spending in the beginning, but to set up your foundation of your business is huge, right? Is huge, because you've got to do it the right way. So I want to actually find my list, branding list. That's what I call it, my branding list, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, and I call this the ultimate branding list, okay? And it's hang on. Oh no. Okay. There was a short break in broadcasting. Oh, yeah. I wonder if this is internet. This is the internet. Okay, let's have a look here. See if it's going. And then, oh, here we go. Okay, Dorothea. So Dorothea is watching. Let's see if I am. It's very, very vague. Okay. Can you see now? Okay. Let's get back live. There we go. All right. So we get back to, here we go, branding list. Yes. Okay. Cool. So, so this is the branding list. Okay. This is your shipping information that you have to register. You don't have to register, not anymore UPS, but you have to have maybe somewhere where you can get your shipping from. If somebody sends you back some stuff, you want to have an official post box. Do you want to get stuff at home? So a lot of my clients are at home, but they don't feel comfortable actually receiving stuff at home, so they have a post box number. It's not always good to have a post box number, okay? You don't have to have a shipping account. A business email address, it shows you that you are professional. I've had my Gmail account forever, but I also have a business account, okay? Signatures. So signatures are all about, and you've got to think about this, right? Signatures are like, let me get you, here, you see my signature? I've got my signature on everything. This is part of your branding, okay? So you're not going to do that yet. I'm going to show you how to do that. Utilities, that's if you have a business, if you are actually going to have an office. Do you have to be part of a chamber of commerce? Do you have to be part of an industry trade association or a professional organization, right? You've got to think about these things, because I know in Holland I had to be part of the Chamber of Commerce and I had to pay for it. Here you don't have to be. So you've got to find out in your state, and every state is different, because I know California is different, Massachusetts is different, New York is different, and here we're different. So you've got to find out what you need to do in your local environment, okay? So this is all just information that you can put aside, but it's on your long list that you're eventually going to get done. Okay. Phone greetings, right? Are you going to get when people are going to call you, and they are going to, are you just going to use your mobile phone for people to call? So you got to think about this, because people will call you, not at the beginning, right? Not in the beginning, but you got to think about, okay, what is the next step? How much is it going to cost? And I want to show you a quick, no, I'll show that to you tomorrow, because we're going to set up the business and everything tomorrow. Okay, is what you got to think about when you're thinking about overheads. Okay, voicemail, answering service, we don't have that anymore. This is an old list. On hold messaging, right? So if you also, again, you know, is there a service? I will show you what that is. Contracts, internal documents. So we have here invoices. We have invoices as part of the shopping platform. So you got to make sure that your business name is in here, your legal business name. So everything's on your invoices. Your NDAs, maybe you are going to do business with people that you want to make sure that they don't talk about your business, or don't take part of your business. And we're going to talk about that in branding, because you've got to be very, very careful when somebody in designing helps you. We don't have faxes anymore. I can take this out. I haven't looked at this for ages. Vendor notices, return authorizations, we all talk about as well, which is marvelous. Customer service scripts, we've got that. Internal members, we won't have that yet because we're a small business. And here's it, business cards. You know, stationery letterhead. You know that we don't send letters out anymore, but what I want you to think about is sending out cards to your customers. So, and straight away, you got to do it straight away. So here, let me show you what one of my clients does, and I encourage it to all of them. I don't know if you can see. So she has a card, okay, and then she does her personal little note on the back. And you know how important that is. This little card, and you don't have to do it as elaborate. I've got another client that actually prints her cards out, a little baby card like this. She hand prints it. She has her puppy put his paw print on it, because she's got a product with pets and stuff. It's actually greeting cards with a lot of animals. And then she has a message printed, so she can print it out on her computer. She has a proper one of those slices, you know, that slices the cards properly. You know, you can't actually cut it with the scissors properly, because then it goes a little bit wonky. And that she puts into her when she ships things out. So these things I want you to start just churning around in your head, and you will have the list so you can know what you need to do. So what I would do is I would actually highlight things that you think, okay, I need to do this. Mailing labels, obviously we need to do this, but this is going to be on Shopify. So mailing, oh no, we have to have the labels eventually, right? It's another thing we need to buy. We don't have a return stamp address. Folders we don't need. And this is when you have a big company, but it's on your list. So what if you're going to grow fast, then you have your list, right? Uniforms can be t-shirts. You can have one person helping you. You should be wearing a t-shirt or with your name on it. I have I call him my bug guy, who does, you know, he goes around the houses and sprays for bugs and everything. And I mean, he's got beautiful shirts with his logo and everything. That logo is advertising for you. So think about how you're going to advertise your company, right? And here's buildings. Okay, we're not having a building in a parking lot yet, but we could. So the next thing is your bank accounts, your credit cards. All this really cool stuff is in here. I'm not going to discuss every single one. And HR and benefits. Snooze, actually. And I keep forgetting that I'm on this early, okay? And then online. So here you have Shopify domain registration, domain name and variations. Remember I said, you know, if you have a domain name, have a singular and the plural. because you don't want to lose out to competition that pinch it. I'll show you how to do DNS redirection, which is pretty easy. Your websites, all this cool stuff here, your social media profiles, sales and marketing. So this is a really comprehensive list. Look here. This is impressive actually. And so I'll pop this into the group so you have it. And then remember, this is not everything that you need right now. So just take out the specifics. Whenever I mention something, that's something that you need to do, but it'll be on this list, okay? So let's go back to registering your store, okay? So let's talk about emails. Okay, so here, so you have your store name, and I want to show you this. You see here where my store name is? Chat Marketing, myshopify.com admin. So this is going to be your URL address, your address where you can pop into your store. So let me show you here. So show you mine. Okay, so I did veronicaleejeans.com. I registered it as my domain name, and then what it does that hyphenated thing right there. So it's on my computer. I'll show you how to do that, but I have to remember this stupid address all the time. So by not doing that, I have added it to my favorites. So I do remember it, right? So got to remember to do that, because I have many clients that call me and go, I can't get into my store. What is my store name? Okay, so that's what you have to do. So you see here, you can actually change whatever you are doing right in here. Okay, so and then let's go back to the emails. So this email you see here is for Shopify to contact you if there's something wrong with your store, or if they need to contact you, or if you talk to customer service. And this one is what your customers are going to see. So I have hello veronicaleejeans.com, which I thought was very cool. So this is my email that is going to respond to my customers. So make sure that you have an email. And advice from one of my customers that have blown up this year. She has made more money in the last 2 months than she has last year. Okay. It is best to have a business email, okay, and two, to have several emails going into a repository, okay. So which I mean is, have one that's for info@yourbusiness.com, and have one for maybe orders at yourbusiness.com, and then I will show you how to put it into an email box in your email, so you always know, okay, these emails come in from info, these from sales. Otherwise they're going to just come from one email, and you're going to not know what people want, because you really have to know if people are ordering or if they just want information, okay. So here, your store name, I would put the proper name in here, okay, Chat Marketing. As I said, okay, so let's save that. I want to go back to settings because I want to show you. Okay. They're always bringing in new things. Okay, so taxes. Here is payments, checkout, yeah, taxes. Here is where you are going to determine what taxes you're going to pay. You have to pay taxes. You don't see my screen? Oh, sorry. I do this all the time. Okay, so this is where you're going to pay taxes. So let me go back to the emails. So you see here the emails and the Hello Veronica email. That's where you have your custom email and your store email. And then your store name, you put your proper name in there, okay? Your legal name, and then let me go back to taxes. Taxes. Here is where you're going to determine where you have to pay taxes. and you have to obviously change it. Now it's in mine is in taxes, so it's already collecting. So I need to know what my liabilities are in any of the other states that I need to get a permit for. And unfortunately, it's a long list, but I will show you where you can go. I'll put the links in, which is TaxJar. TaxJar is for America, right? TaxJar. They have really good information. And then for outside America, you need to know where you get that information. And a lot of times you get that from your local. Say, for instance, if you're in Namibia, then you would just go to the Namibian government website, right? And if you're in Europe, you go to your country's government website, where you're going to see where the sales tax is, where you have to. This is for sales tax, by the way, VAT. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. When I talk about taxes, I talk about sales tax. So here in America, we do not show prices with tax included. We have our everybody. We're used to seeing the tax separately. I know in South Africa and Europe it is included in the sale. I do not know what Australia does. Charge on shipping rates, it depends on your country and your state whether you're going to charge tax on shipping rates. Okay, charge VAT on digital goods. Again, it depends on your state, your country. Go to your tax consultant and sit down with them. You won't have to, I don't assume you'll have to pay a charge before you see them, but tell them you're setting up the company, you want to talk about what your liabilities are going to be, just to make sure, or do the research online. Okay, do the research online, because that is going to be the only way to make sure that you're in compliance with your country and with your state. Okay, because that's important. Believe me, you do not want to mess around with the government, with your country's government, with the tax authorities. They are horrible anywhere in the world because they want their bacon. Okay, so yeah, so tax is extremely important, okay. So I think I'm going to stop there, because I want you to actually, I'm going to give you a list of things that I want you to actually think of. So I just want to get it here right now. Okay, because we're not going to talk about emails right now. Branding. What I'm talking about is the things that you need to get ready for tomorrow to set up your business properly in your e-commerce store in Shopify. So today, books. So as I said, I'm writing the book, and you will get a book. Once we finish this, you will actually get a book, because I'm launching the book in, here we go. Let me show you. General settings. We've got tax regions. We talked about the taxes, tax overrides. We're not going to set that up right now. No. The list. Commissions. No, this is tomorrow. Okay. I don't want to confuse you, because I'm opening up. I really thought I had the list. Anyway, so the list is, yes, the list is in financials. Yeah, here we go. This is what I want you guys to think about, okay? This is what I'm talking about when I go into all this information that we have to fill out you have to really gather a lot of information so we can set it up properly tomorrow, okay? So that's your bank information. So if you do not have a bank account, okay, you will need a bank account. If you don't have do you have a company legal name? Do you have a company EIN, which is an employer identification number, which is a tax number. So it's different to a sales tax number, okay? So there's two different things in America. Unbelievable, right? And anywhere else is your VAT number and your company number. It's not the same, because if I have a company, I might not be selling goods. I might be selling services where I don't need a sales tax number. So that's different. So you've got to find out what you need to do. So there's a lot of work to be done before we can actually import all this information. And this is important. I want you guys to do it properly. Obviously, social security number, but we're going to be hopping between a international store and American store so that you can see the difference. Shopify payments, okay. Yeah, so business details. So these are the business details that you need to set up your stores anywhere. Any store you set up, you will have to have the same information, okay? And then you have to decide where you're going to do business. Are you going to just do business in one country? Are you going to do business across the border? Are you going to do business in Europe? Are you going to do business from Europe to America? Where are you going to do business? What does it entail? So those are the decisions you have to make. I have a client on the island of Jersey, near United Kingdom, UK, and she only does business with the United Kingdom, okay, and America actually, and she does business locally. She's got a local retail business. So she has determined that she sells lingerie. She has determined that it's too competitive in Europe, and she's not going to. She's not going to make a lot of money. So you got to look at the product that you're going to sell, and decide for yourself and say, okay, do I just start in one country? In America, every state is like one country, and start selling locally and then expand it, or do I want to sell internationally already? I would suggest selling it just locally and then expanding slowly, because you're going to get into import taxes, importing it, and I have a solution for shipping as well, okay? But you will get into those problems, and we are going to set up your store so that you don't have those problems. But you do have to think about, let me get used to locally selling, which is every city locally that you can sell in. It's still online, okay? So that you can get used to the shipping information, how you ship, what you ship. You can get used to being confident in printing your labels, in doing your orders before you start doing international shipping. And here is one of the biggest problems with people with small business is they expand too fast, and it's a huge crash, because you do not want to expand too fast. Believe me, you've got to be careful what you wish for. So doing it slowly and doing it the right way is extremely important. As I said, I am going to be posting this list. Collect the information before you start, okay? In the group, I am going to be posting the branding list as well. Remember, you don't need everything on this branding list. You only need some of it, but it'll give you an idea of, oh, I can use that, I want this, I want the other. And then you will be able to, as you're expanding, you'll have this list, and then you'll be able to use the list every time you expand your business. Every time you need something else, you go, okay, now I know I need this, and I know I need the following. So if you have a larger company, this is what you need for your You got to think about it. I had a company, we made $2.3 million. I had all this stuff. I had to have it because I was employing people. So you got to also think about when you are starting out, you're starting out slowly, but you might have to have help, like my personal puzzle business lady. She has to have somebody that helps her printing the stuff and packing the stuff. So although my card lady that also prints her own does she print her own cards? She has them printed, right? So you got to think about, okay, so what will I need in the future, and then really just put it in the back of your head, put it on a list, and say, okay, these are the ideas that I want to do if I expand. Think of the next step, because if that next step happens and you're not ready, you're gonna go, it's crash time. Okay, so I want to end with this little tip. Please start a journal. Anything, a small book. Okay, let me go out of this so I can show you. I carry this around with me. Okay, don't worry about the stickies. This is what I have to do today. This is my journal, and I write in my journal every day. Not every day, I should be doing it every day, but it gives you ideas. Write down your ideas in your book, and then start, okay, so if this happens, I'm going to do this, because it gets your ideas from your head onto a piece of paper, which then clears your mind out. Because there is a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing that you need to do and think about. So having a journal will help you also think of future, right? So have an idea of, if my company expands, who can I employ? Think of ideas of, if, for instance, if you can't afford a graphic designer and you need one, maybe you can go to the local college or university and say, hey, does somebody want to intern or earn some money, and you can pay them a low fee wage just for the graphic artists that they do. You don't have to get experts in right away. You can actually look around you, and Donna has, for instance, the puzzle lady has people that the kids have gone off to school, right? And so she's gone to them and said, hey, do you want to earn some extra money? I can't pay a lot, but I'll sneak it to you, and we'll pay taxes, but none of the sneaking, okay? But they will work 20 hours, and that's exactly what she needs. But look around you of people that you might be able to get in eventually, that when you need help, okay? So that's where I'm going to stop today, because we are going to get into the nitty-gritty of registering your store, getting in there, putting the information in, and it's all about the setting. It's all about putting your financials in. I want all of that fixed and ready to go, so that we don't have to think about it. And then we're going to start having fun when we start putting our products in and thinking about how we're going to shape our e-commerce store. Because as I said, if the foundation isn't good, then it's going to be a mess when you start, okay? So thanks for listening, and I will be back again tomorrow, and we will be talking about setting up your basic foundation information. Bye.